Hello everyone, it's Jackie. I'm back today with a little ephemera holder, little tag ephemera holder thingy. Just a quick craft with me tutorial. This is a really simple one. This is the one I made when I was doing Tracy's 2021 December daily, and it's just a folded tag shape or guest check shape with a couple of pockets inside to hold your bits of ephemera, and it's held together with a belly band. So that's where the inspiration came from, and this is what I've made as a prototype. I haven't put anything in this one yet. It's a little bit stiffer. I've made it a bit more substantial. Again, this could be a gift card holder, anything you like really. So I'm going to make a couple of these as we go along. As I say, this is one of the more simple ones. So we'll see how we go. So you need to start with, she says, you need to start with a piece of card 7 by 6.5 inches. So let me just get those ready. I've got all the bits ready, but not the card, and I'll be right back with you. So sorry about that, got that. So we're going to cover one side of the card with coloured paper, scrapbook paper or a digital. This is Ruby and Pearl. That's for the outer side, and the inside we're going to cover with some book page. So I'm going to go away and do that with glue stick. I should put glue stick all over the card, pop this on, and then do the other side, and then leave them to dry before I do anything else. Okay, so I've come back to show you the last bit. I have done gluing quite a lot before, but it occurred to me this might be somebody's first. So I've covered one side with the same size piece of paper, so 7 by 6.5, and then I just used an ordinary glue stick. And the main thing with this is to get right to the edges and try and cover every bit of it as best I can with a glue stick. You might get the odd bit that's missed. So it does take a fair bit of glue. I get through a lot of glue sticks, but I have no problems using a good quality glue stick. This isn't actually particularly, but I normally choose the Scotch brand. I've just run out at the moment. Just got to wait for those to come. And then we just decide which side I want. And for this one, just, sorry, that was probably my head in the way. Just lining that up. And then I just use my bone folder really firmly to go over this, so that if there are any bits missed, I am hopefully spreading the glue out a little bit and covering as much as possible. We're going to round the corners and stitch as well, so it's not vital. And then I just cut off the excess. I've obviously missed that corner with the glue, so I'll go back and do that in a minute. Here it's actually squished out. These aren't non-stick scissors, so every so often I clean those with a bit of acetone. So before we score and fold this, it needs to dry. So I'm going to let that dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to get the image ready for the front of this. So your image needs to be 2 3/4 by 5 inches approximately. And that's going to sit on the front of our little pocket folder thing. For this one, I am going to mount it onto some cream card. Here, and I'm going to stitch. So again, I just glue stick round there, leave a little border. And then I find this easiest with a craft knife and ruler, just to cut off the other two edges. So that's ready to mount. The top looks a touch out to me, so I'm just going to take a little smidgen off there. So that'll sit nicely on there. This I'm going to stitch round the image with either, I haven't decided yet, a straight stitch or a zigzag. But again, I'm just going to wait for the glue to dry before I do that. And we can also get the pockets ready. So the pockets are, all these bits. The pockets are 2 pieces of card, 3 1/4 by 2 3/4, and they also need to be covered with paper. So for this one I used the same paper. I was trying to remember which digital this was. It's a wallpaper. It's either Ruby and Pearl or Amity Bloom. I don't know why that won't go on. It usually goes on easily. I don't think I've got any others. So for this one, I'm probably going to use a bit of this brown because it matches, sort of tones in with that, or choose something similar. So you just do it in exactly the same way. Cover your 2 pieces of card with glue stick, and then attach the paper and trim it off so that you've got everything ready. Yep, we'll do that and then I'll come back. So this is one I did earlier that is dry. You can see I have got a few little bubbles where it hasn't quite glued, but I'm not too worried about that. So before I stitch this one, I like to score it and fold it. It's 7 inches, so I'm going to do it at 3 1/2. And I'm going to do quite a good score line because we're going through 2 sheets of paper and card. And then we just fold that. And just check that everything's straight. I've got a slight overlap there, but it's barely anything. Because it's me, I am going to just take that little sliver off. Okay. And then we can put our image on the front. This one, the image I made smaller. You can do that if you prefer. That's 2 1/4 by 5. Sorry, 2 1/8 by 5, and then mounted. But this one I'm going to leave like this because I haven't got anything else going on this this front really. I'm going to round the corners, and I'm actually going to use a 1/2 inch. And then this gets glued on the front. That should have been a 1/4 inch one. Never mind, we'll go with it, it'll be fine. So for this I'm using a bit of white glue. You could stitch it on, but I didn't want the stitching to show on the other side. I could have stitched it on before I covered the inside with paper, but this way works fine for me. straight, get that as straight as we can, just by eye. And then on the inside, I'm going to put these pockets. They're going to go like that. So the long way up, and again, I'm going to round, I'll do it the same. So I'm going to round opposite corners. So it's going to sit like that. Okay, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to stitch this round here on both of these. So let me go and do that. So that's that done. So the top edge of each of those pockets is done. And I'm just going to sort of tack these in place really, just with a little bit of glue. On the edge, just on the edges really, there and there, maybe a bit in the corner. Just let that dry to hold those in place. And then we're going to stitch around the whole edge. I didn't hold that down long enough. We're going to stitch around the whole edge of this. I usually start at the centre back. If you've got any bits sticking out like that, just trim them off. So start on the back edge, go all the way around the 4 sides, and then we'll come back and make the belly band. And I'll show you the others that I've put together as well. The belly band, you need a piece of paper 1.5 inches wide and approximately 8 inches long, but don't put it on till I've just shown you how to think about that. Okay, so we're about done. So they're stitched around, and obviously when you stitch you catch the pockets in, so we've got our pockets for the ephemera pieces that we're going to put in. If you're going to use a belly band, sometimes it's best to do the belly band after you've filled the pockets, because what you want is a snug fit but not too tight, and it is a little bit trial and error. I literally get my strip of paper, which is 8 by 1.5, as I said. I've stitched around the edges as well. I just wanted a stitch look, and then I just gently fold it. But if you look, it's not tight, completely tight, and all I do is just glue that down while it's on there. So I want some glue on this edge. No, I don't, that's the wrong way around, it's that way. I want some glue on this edge. Sorry, I didn't stitch one of the edges. Some on this edge. And if you just hold that in place with this quick drying glue, that'll work really well. So we don't want it to fall off, but we want it to move up and down fairly easily. So that will allow a bit of room for some ephemera in there, so that's fine. This is just a bit of scrapbook paper, a scrap that I had. These two I'm going to close with clips, because I don't want the belly bands to cover their faces. I should have thought of that before I chose those particular images. This is the one with the 1/2 inch corners. It looks fine. I prefer the smaller corners, but this one looks fine. It's good, really. It's the inside of that one, and that's the inside of that one. I folded this the wrong way against the grain, so I might get some cracking there, but these are not meant to be forever items. They're just for a bit of happy mail or just to use in your journals. So I should probably put some ribbon in these, some crinkled seam binding, and just tie it in a bow just to finish those two off. This one I'm going to leave plain and simple, same as I have that one. So there we are. I'll take some photographs so you can see on the front of the video what this looks like. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Sorry, I'm back here just to show you how I decided to finish these off. Clip with a little bit of pink ribbon on that picks up the pink there. This one, I'd only got very short bits of seam binding, so I've tied 2 small bows there so it doesn't look too mean, it still looks pretty. This one, I cut a motif off a doily and just tied a button on really with a bit of embroidery thread and glued that onto that band just to dress that up. And then I was looking at this one and it looked really plain compared to the others. I don't have a lot in yellows, but I did find this little bit of sari trim which picks up the green and a bit of the black. I'm not 100% about that, but I sort of quite like it, so that's what I've ended up with. Again, thank you for watching and see you soon.